everywhere. It's a topic that anybody who is an entrepreneur needs to at least know or study a bit before you jump on the ship of being an entrepreneur. There's opportunity everywhere. The only thing you need is to look and see where the opportunities are, especially in Nigeria with our population. You know that definitely there are lots of opportunities everywhere you look at. So before you start whatever business you're thinking of starting, you need to do certain things so you don't become one of those people who just see someone making money. I remember when someone started making pure water and they said she became a millionaire, and then everybody jumped on the boat, on the ship of making pure water. So that's why we had all those things. And then so many people didn't even make money from it. Instead, they lost a lot. And that's because it's not your vision. You don't know how the person started, and you just jumped on the ship to start the business. So there are times before you start a business, you have to do certain things, learn certain things, and then you can go on. So this course is right for you, whatever your starting point. We are all like pirates when it comes to entrepreneurship. There is nobody born with it. Nobody was born with, when they say, he has a business gene. Nobody was born with an entrepreneurship gene. We all learned it, or we can all learn it, and it can be taught. So, first of all, entrepreneur comes from a French word that means to undertake, which is very appropriate because what an entrepreneur does is they undertake a journey to create a new venture or to get into a new business, if you want to say. The journey to create a new venture involves risk. There's a common misperception that entrepreneurs are gamblers and that they love to take risks. In fact, nothing could be further from the truth. What entrepreneurs know how to do is, through a rational, systematic process, manage risk of to their advantage. The story of the entrepreneurs being mad geniuses who take ideas and turn them into gold is just the story. It's not really true. So, but let's debunk some myths and lies about being an entrepreneur or creating a new venture. It says, first of all, that they are born and not made. But I think most people are not born with the entrepreneurial gene. There's some here, they have that talent, but for any other person, you can jump on the ship. You can just learn it. Then secondly, that they're particularly intellectually gifted. I don't think that is also true. And third, that they are mercurial or impulsive individuals, loners, rebels. There's so many things said about entrepreneurs. So the reality is much different. If you take a wildly successful entrepreneur and you pick through the image of the chaos-loving visionary, then you'll find something much different. You find a group of remarkable, disciplined people. Steve Jobs said it's more fun to be a pirate than to join the Navy. So being an entrepreneur, it's you can start with no matter whatever it is, as long as if you just desire to be one, you can start anywhere. It's just remain disciplined. You have to be focused. You don't jump from one ship to the other. Just remain focused that I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to build this business from scratch, from the beginning, and I want to see it. And there's just this joy and satisfaction of being an entrepreneur, and at the end, you get what you see your business growing. There's just that satisfaction and joy in it. So here we're going to embrace that pirate spirit, that pirate inside of you, and you're going to add to it the execution skills of a Navy SEAL, and we're going to have a heck of a lot of fun. So good luck on this on being a disciplined entrepreneur. All right. So before you start, when you start looking at a business you want to do, you first of all look at it, see the business through the eyes of the customer, not through the company. You know, there's some people who start with, I want to start a business. I want to make the office, it has to look beautiful so that, you know, I'll be comfortable in the office. No, you start by looking at what is the product I'm going to sell? What are my products, or what's the service? And then you see it from the eyes of the customer, not from your own. I was looking at it through the perspective of the company. So for entrepreneurs, there's no better pair of eyeglasses than what is called the essential entrepreneurial garment. So your eyes, or the customer is your eyes. Certainly, there are many other ways to study entrepreneurship, but let's focus on this training. This training is specific. The customer. We want to give you a systematic and rigorous methodology for building. All these ones are big English. So we just want to learn how to start and look at the customer. The customer is our focus now. So first, we'll explore and analyze potential applications for your idea. Whatever that idea, that business idea is, choose the most promising markets and estimate their size. Develop a comprehensive, actionable understanding of the prospective customer. That is, if you come up with a product or a service that you want to sell, you need to first of all analyze your potential, the applications here for the idea. The idea, you have to put it down first. Then you choose that promising market. Which market am I going? Who are my prospective customers? And then you understand who that customer is. So first of all, you conduct like a market segmentation. You look at your market. Who are the people? Because for everybody, you want to make profit in any business. So first of all, you have to look at, who am I selling this product or this service to? Am I going to make money from this? Am I going to satisfy the customer need, which is actually what you want to do? If you find a need, then you look at your customer and then you segment that market. So you look at your benchmark, we call it the bench head market. Then you develop an end user profile. You see them, describe them, and then you focus on who this customer is. Sorry, I have a lot of slides, so I'm just jumping. So ultimately, your goal is to find a homogeneous group or target customers who experience a similar need. That's the need you want to provide, to whom you could deliver your solution to at similar cost, and who will buy it, who will buy whatever thing you're trying to produce or you're trying to sell, and at what the price you're ready to sell, and they're ready to buy it at that price. So ultimately, your goal is to find that group and target customers. There is no one size fits all, of course. It's a wide market. What happens in the US or in the UK or in other nations, or even in Ghana here, will not, sometimes you can't apply it in Nigeria. It's totally different. So you have to look at your market. I want to sell in Nigeria first. Well, wherever your primary market is, that's where you start from. If you would like to find out if the entrepreneurship is for you, you should just give it a try. So that's what I said in the beginning, just try somewhere. So building a business is the hardest and most rewarding thing. You may never feel fully ready to start your company, but with the right tools or information, you can jump and make things happen. Now, when you find your customers, you focus on your biz, focus on the product, focus to have an exclusive brand and the experience you're going to get into. So now, who is your customer? when you find the group or your homogeneous group so that you can give them a great, when you find that group, then you have the product. And it's not just any product. You don't just say, okay, because everybody is selling pure water, me too, I'll jump on that ship and sell pure water. I'm using pure water because that's the commonest or the simplest business that you can just carry, buy a bag and just get on the streets to start selling. A great product that you go tell other people within your customer segment, when you have, okay, so when you find your customers now and you have the product, your product has to be like, is it good? Is it great? Or is it just there? For every entrepreneur, if you want to go far, your product has to be great. Like the people have to say, why would I leave other people selling this particular product and come and buy from you? Your product cannot just be, it's just good. No, you have to produce like a great service for anybody, especially where a market is saturated. Why would I want to leave this event management company that I've been using, and because you just came up and I decide that I'm going to use you? There must be something you're giving to me, and it has to be great or better than the former person that I was using. So if you get your product, focus on that one thing or focus on that one kind of customer, not two things. You know, unfortunately here, we jump on, somebody starts a business, say you start, you find out that everybody is a tailor now. Everybody is a fashion designer. Then you also join the bandwagon. You don't have any idea. Whilst you're still staggering in that, you now hear that the moving business now is something else. Let's say, what do I use now as an example? You could say, okay, the business of restaurants, you know, of course, or everybody eats food, everybody wears clothes. Now, one of your friends comes up and tells you that, this business or this smoothie business, smoothie business, it's moving. Then the next thing, your sewing, your tailoring shop now becomes, half of it becomes smoothie shop. How can you mix smoothie and then tailoring? But most times we do that. We don't focus on one thing. Everywhere someone says it's getting money from, we just jump on it and start the business. So now you see the person is not like a passion. It's just that the person wants to make money. It's just trying to find a way out. That's not being entrepreneurial. So now, who is your customer? If you want to have a business, you need a paying customer, but you need multiple paying customers. We just don't need a paying customer or any paying customer. You need a figure out. You need to figure out how you will get a paying customer, and that's similar in nature. So you don't just get a customer who will pay for your product and pay for it without complaints and get the best, you know. So so we have to focus on that and deselect all these other people. And if we don't deselect, you end up with a mediocre company. If we select and focus on that customer and do a great job, you have a great company. So don't be driven by the individual transaction, even though we like money and paying customers, nor should we be driven by this high level cloud. So don't be driven by that. I just need a paying customer. There's something satisfactory about, you know, your product, and someone comes from, say, you live in, around where I live, Galadimawa, and I have a product, and someone lives at Sokoro and comes to me for that product. There's just this wow factor of it. You're satisfied that someone is really, that means you're doing something different, and that gives you the joy and an edge to other people around. Of course, there might be people who are serving the same purpose in Asokoro, but the person leaves Asokoro and comes to Garadima to buy what you're selling. That gives you that joy and satisfaction that you're doing something good, you're doing something great for you to bring a customer all the way. So let's not do that China syndrome. Unfortunately, they're not my favorite people though. So the China syndrome is there's 1.6 million people, and if I just sell to 0.1%, that's like 160,000, or 10%. That's 0.1. That's maybe 106,000 of them by product. I'll be rich. That's just big numbers and small percent. We don't really understand the customer. So yours is just produced and dispersed. There's no, you don't want to have any, there's no connection. There's no, what word do I use? There's no understanding. You want to, there's no, you don't care about your customer. You don't care how he feels. Yours is just, you mass produce, you distribute. You solve a problem anyway, but they can move from you to another person. There's no that extra X factor of your product. They don't care. You don't care. You just sell. That's the China model. So what you need to do is to focus on a specific customer or group of customers where they're all pretty similar, and then build the company back from them, and do it with great focus and deselect everything else and not get distracted. So first of all, you get the customers. That's where you start building from. You build from, you find the customer, you build from them towards the company. Then your company stands. It's like you now have you have a target, you have the customers you're selling your product or your service to, and they're going to be satisfied. Then you build your company from there. Not build the company and then start going out to look for the customers. There, it's easy for you to fail. So I'll give an example from that. We started, we found out that, I'm sorry, I'm a lady, I'm a woman, so I want to use that woman fact thing. I started buying sanitary towels, Nigerian made, unfortunately. I wasn't satisfied with using it. So normally I order, or when I travel, I buy as many as can last me till I travel again, till I travel out of the country. So I buy them and I bring them, and that's what I use. So I found out that I had friends around who also were not satisfied with the kind of sanitary towels they get here in Nigeria. So they were always asking, and I always just tell them, see, I buy this particular make abroad, and I buy a lot and bring them back, and I use it for like 6 months before I travel again. And they decided, okay, why don't you, next time you travel, why don't you buy plenty and bring, and we'll buy. So you see, I built it from my customer base. It's something that I wanted to do. I saw a need, and I found out that so many people had that same need like I do. And so when I traveled, I now ordered a lot and I brought back, and my customers came and bought. The first time I brought those sanitary towels, it didn't last long. It was finished. So by the time I started posting and saying I had this kind of sanitary towels for sale, by the time people started coming, they were buying 5, 6. Before I knew it, I was done. And then I didn't have enough again. So that part, I failed on that, because when your customers come and they don't find from you, and they come back tomorrow and you're still giving them story, oh, I've not been able to order more, they will leave, they'll go look for somebody else. So unfortunately, this was like 4 years ago. That business kind of started and then it kind of fizzled out. But I went back again the next time I traveled. I bought a lot, and then I freighted a lot back. And so when my customers come, I now started calling those customers that I had before. I said, okay, now I have enough for you to buy. And so many of them came and they bought. So I built that business from into getting a product and then building it up from the customer to the company. Not that I bought tangibles, I came back and sat down and then started calling people, come and buy. No, I talked to a few people and then I started selling. So that's just one example. So now what do you do? Articulate the idea, describe it. If you aren't sure, focus on answering these questions. That if you're not sure of what you want, what is the problem I want to solve? For me, I wanted to solve the problem of women having to buy like 10 packs through a period of 5 days, a menstrual period of 5 days. You're buying 5 packs of sanitary towel when you should just have maybe one and use that. That was the problem I saw. Then who experiences this problem? So many women, especially those who have heavy flow. And then how do you want to solve the problem? I got the sanitary towel, I will buy and then come sell. Why is this a better solution? Why is it better? You buy 1 packet, you use for 5 days, instead of buying 10 packets and using the same for 5 days. So eventually you find out that you're saving money buying from me. So I've solved that problem. So now, okay, I'll take another example. I want to solve a problem of clean water scarcity. This is an example that I got. Clean water scarcity in developing countries, say in Gwagwa or somewhere, Gwagwa in Abuja here. This problem is experienced by people in rural areas where water supply and treatment infrastructure doesn't really exist. I want to solve that problem by providing village scale pumps. Maybe drill a borehole, put up pumps, tanks there, and then that will give every village a way to access clean water from underground sources. This will be a better solution. So this solution will be better because it will be easy and quick to install. You just drill a borehole and then you put up the tanks. It will be simple to operate. Some boreholes use manual pumps. Some you put on, if you have a gen, you just switch it on electrical. Then it will be simple to operate, of course. It will not require large investments in infrastructure. The infrastructure you need is just, you drill a borehole and then you put up the tank there. That's it. And then it will last long, of course. So rural entrepreneurs could even earn money by selling clean water. That's why you have this Merwa. They will go there, buy, you sell maybe a jerry can 25 liter, maybe you sell 5 naira to them. They go out and they earn another 5 naira. So they sell for 10 naira, making 5 naira profit. So prospective customers are finally in view. That's using our example of the Merwa concept. Now you segment the market. You categorize your potential market. You categorize your customers. You describe the multiple groups of target customers, and then the areas you might want to put up this. If you find out that people in Gwagwa don't really have water, there is no water board there. Now, if you put up, if you want to invest maybe 10 million, and then you put up maybe 8 or so boreholes in strategic areas in Gwagwa, and then you set up that thing, you've already targeted, you know your customers now, and you know where you want to take that need to. So done right, market segmentation will reveal important differences between similar groups of target customers. The understanding of those differences will make you much more successful in deciding what market to pursue first. When you see a target, say in Gwagwa, and then there's a community, a small community, maybe in Utako. For me, I would prefer to go to the Gwagwa one because unfortunately it's outside, it's in the outskirts. Utako is already growing and we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. They might just come and clear that area and say, okay, this settlement, you need to move from here. But Gwagwa is a little bit, it's outskirts, and there's still, development is still trying to get there. So you can look at that and then segment it and say, okay, which part would be better for me to go set up this water business? For me, I'll think Gwagwa is the more lasting one. It's a better place to go set up that kind of water business than setting it up in a settlement in Utako. So ultimately, market segmentation leads you to a path to figuring out who your persona is, the persona around whom you build a strong and sustainable business. The fun part about market segmentation is that you get to wear multiple hats. You have to be creative, you have to be analytic, but most importantly, you have to go out and talk to as many prospective target customers as possible. So start by brainstorming, throw every idea to the wall. For me, when I started that part of my business, I talked to a few, most times when I see some women, I ask them questions about it. So you can just pick their brains and ask, this is my situation. Do you have this problem also? Don't worry about the analysis or all that, and especially criticizing ideas. You know, some people, as soon as you come up with that question, especially in Nigeria here, the first thing is the person has already wants to stop. Wants to block. There are people like you come up with an idea or you ask them some questions. The first thing is defensive. They call, so what? Why are you asking me this kind of question? Do you understand? You will experience those kind of things. At this point, just keep your aperture wide open. That means open your cameras, your eyes, your ears, everything. And from talking to, if you meet 10 persons, if you talk to them, maybe 2 or 3 might just like put a wall between you and them, or try to discourage you if you tell them it's a business you want to start. So identify potential industries for your idea, subdivide each industry into markets and market segments. This gives specificity and structure to your process. Okay, so how do you carry out your market segmentation? Now list the people who might benefit from your idea in each industry and ideally in each market segment. I'm not going to want to sell sanitary towels and then go and start talking to a man. Of course, you meet women, and from what age, you understand. So once you have identified the end users, describe the various tasks that they perform and how they would use your product. Your next task is to narrow the field, list the top 6 or 12 market segments you want. Whatever it is, it might be 3 segments or just whatever market you're looking at. You now start coming down to your particular product, what you want to sell to them. So as with many things in life, your limiting factor is time. You should research and analyze prospective markets in depth, but you do not have unlimited time to consider all this. So, you know, when we say there's no time, there's no time. Now we have internet. You can start by your Facebook friends, on your Instagram. You can ask questions there and just get your answers. You might not get many, but at least you're spreading out. You start with your neighborhood, your family. I know that's where you can, those are your first customers. You talk to the people around you. And from that, you can build now, or ask them to also talk to their friends. And then you start looking at your segmenting your market from there. So what do? The next step is primary market research. In other words, going out to talk to some real people. Aside doing the ones on the social media, family and friends, you can go out or when you go out to, you can give out little questionnaires. If it's, because for me sometimes I don't like it, but you know, you can print out small questionnaires and give out to people, hand to people, or you can talk to them and then ask them questions on the street. Those real people that you know you want to, that's your real market, the end user of your product. For you to be successful at primary customer issues, you've got to be fearless. Go and talk to people. For me, I'm a reserved, I feel like I'm a reserved person. I'm not someone who goes out there. So what you could do is, if you're not that kind of person who can talk to people easily, you can use people around you to also talk to people. Create a simple questionnaire, very simple, and ask people those questions that you want to narrow down for your use. Talk to people, learn about them, and learn about what they would want. Then organize your primary customer research. This process takes a lot of energy, but gives a lot of wisdom. So let's remind ourselves why we do it. We do primary customers because we're looking for a homogeneous group to target customers who experience a similar problem and to whom you could deliver your solution at similar cost, and who would pay similar amounts of money for that. There's something I learned from this. You know, sometimes you start selling a product after you've done all this, and you start selling a product, and then someone tells you that I saw it next door for, say you're selling a t-shirt and you sell for 3,000 naira. Someone tells you I saw it next door and the other person is selling it for 1,000. Not to be rude though, sometimes I say, okay, go and buy the 1,000 naira one. I have a target customer, and those customers, they know me, they know my product, they know the quality of product I sell. It might not be the same, it might look the same, but it's not the same thing. So some people will want the 1,000 naira one. That's good, that's what they want. I sell the 3,000 naira one, and I know how the sauce, I know, I'm sure of the sauce, I'm sure of the quality. I'm sure that when you get this, my t-shirt, you wear it for 5 years and nothing happens to it. But the one you buy for 1,000, when you wash it, then the neckline sags. So you have your customers, the other person has his own. Don't worry about it. As long as you've done your research from the beginning and you know that these are the customers that I want. There's another example that says we're looking at starting an apparel. That's why I brought up the t-shirt thing. You're looking at starting an apparel market because we're looking to sell clothing, or you're looking to sell t-shirts. So are you selling, first of all, you segment it. There are different kinds of t-shirts. There's casual, there's the professional looking one, and then there's the sports t-shirts. Sometimes some people don't know that they're actually different. So now, but you have segmented it. That's the first part. Now, what is important is to recognize that in each of these markets, that in each of the casual clothing, professional clothing, and sports clothing, you can recognize, you could divide it into specific sub-segments, and that's the urban, the modern, the preppy, the classic. You know that the classic, most older people, they will prefer the classic one, the ones that are not too tight, that are free for them to wear. And then the modern ones, like the guys, might want this one that is tight, that shows their muscles. And you've seen that your segment, you've now segmented that main, the first one you started. So you break it down to urban, modern, the classic, and then even more sub-segmented, the inexpensive and the very expensive. So it depends on what your product is. You classify, you segment them like that. The first one is, do I want to sell the expensive one? Do I want to sell the cheap one? Do I want to sell the modern one? Or do I want to sell the classic one? Do I want to sell to young people, or do I want to sell to older people. Now, as you see, we're getting progressively more specific on our path to find our persona around whom we'll build our business around. So we're in a good place, but don't relax just yet. So in the process, you ask certain questions, and these questions could be, who is the end user of my product? The end user could be male, that's for the sportswear, in his early 30s, who doesn't care very much about fashion, or who does care about fashion, it depends, but wants to dress well and has a classic style. He has a decent job and works very hard. So let's say this person is in his 30s, does not care about fashion, but wants to look smart and wants to look good. He has a decent job, maybe a banker, and he works very hard. Is that your customer? Or is that your end user? Or it could also be that you want to sell to children's clothes. They're your end users, but they're not your customers. The customers are their parents. So you know how to segment the questions you want. So let's say, so why would the end user use your service or your product? Say Josh would use or buy good quality products. That's, say, for Josh, who is this 30-year-old person who has a good job that you've already spoken to, or that category of persons. He wants to buy good quality products at a discount. So he wants good quality, but he doesn't want the expensive one. But not just that, also, you ask what task will be dramatically improved by the end user using your product. What is the benefit? What problem have you solved? So the example for the clothing market is, sorry, I mixed up this slide. Okay, so when you look at people around this young urban professional who wants good quality things, but at a discount rate, how will this affect? Sorry, this slide, I can't even remember why I wrote it. Okay, so when you find that kind of customer, or if you narrow down and that kind of customer is your end customer, now you're going to be, is it better for me to sell retail, or is it better for me to sell to be a middle person? Should I just sell to people who sell out to these people, or should I sell to the end user directly? Okay, so this is an example. Sorry. Okay, so now if you've done that segmentation, you sit down and look at study it, and that's number one or number two goal that you've already done. The first one is get your look for your customers, then you segment it and narrow it down to what you want to do about that. Now that's your market for your product. Okay, so I don't know if for now, if anybody has any question, I would like to pause here. I know I've talked a lot. It's actually supposed to be for 30 minutes. So I would like to pause here and hear get questions from my listeners. Tinu? Lanre, can you unmute them? Let's get a few questions whilst I also try to look at the remaining slides.
Learning, the adult learning. He explained how. So I want to.
See, Bex, you know, say na me tell them before they know how to do this thing.
Okay, Tinu, what's happening?
If
Larry.
Okay, I've muted everyone. Okay, everyone is still muted, but anyone that has something to say can just raise their hand so that I can unmute them. I think we have a question in the chat segment.
Yeah, someone said, how do you undertake or know your customer as a farmer or produce marketer? That's for farm produce or farm products. Where do you start from? What do you want to sell? Now, I have ventured into a lot of small things there, which I'm not doing completely right. But let's say there was one time we wanted to start rice before all this rice thing came up years ago. My cousin has a large farm, I think about 50 or 60 hectares of rice, and her rice is lovely. Every time I eat it, I buy from her, and it's really lovely. But she just she farms rice, she harvests it, and then she just keeps it there. She already has someone, I think a middleman, who goes to the village and just buys off her, from her. It's not processed. It's just the ones she gives to us that she processes. So we now said, okay, this rice, it tastes different from the foreign one. I stopped eating foreign rice a long time ago. So I decided that, okay, can we at least maybe process it, package it, and start selling? But we started talking to a few persons about the machines and all, and the resources, financial resources wasn't there. So we kind of dropped that. So for say a farm produce, you start with the same thing. Who is your one market? What's the produce, first of all? What do you want to sell? Perishable or unperishable? A friend of mine also wanted to start a store by selling vegetables and perishable farm produce from Jos. And we started going from place to place, talking to people. Would you go to Amina Akai Street to buy tomato, pepper, onions? Talking to a lot of people at that time. This was, I think, about 7-8 years ago. At that time, most people we spoke with would prefer to go to the market because they're already thinking of, if you put a shop like that on Amina Akai, it would be expensive. I would rather just send someone to the market to get it for me. So that business didn't see the light of day. So what I would think is, if you're going to start, whatever it is, whatever it is, pure water, tomato, anything farm product, you need to find your bench head market. Who are your benchhead? Who are your customers? Who are your end users? Are you going to, and who are your competition also? You're bringing tomato from Jos. Who are you going to sell it to? Are you going to, like, I have a friend also who she brings from Jos, but she calls us on WhatsApp. That's why I said you have to get your customers. Who are your customers first? Before you go and get tomato from Jos and then keep it and then it will perish behind your house. So before you start, you call people. What she does is she sends WhatsApp messages, Facebook messages, Instagram. She uses social media most of all. She sends out messages. How many people do you want tomato? I will get a basket. 2 people can share, 3 people can share, 1 person can buy a basket, and it's from Jos. It's clean. So why do we buy from her? She buys from Jos. She cleans it, washes it. If you see the tomato in the when she brings it to you, you'll be like, wow, is this the same tomato I buy from the market? Because she cleans it, packs it well, and you know that the bottom is not rotten like you find in the market. So most people, I'm just giving an example with 1 person. What she does, she cleans it. She's already gotten her customers. She buys according to the number of persons she wants to that have already paid for it. So she's not left with perishable product in her house. She gets 10 persons. Okay, 10 people, you pay 5,000. I get 10 baskets. Do you understand? As soon as it comes, she cleans, she delivers. She's made her money. So she's not wasting anything. So before you start any business at all, do the market research. Don't jump on the ship because everybody is selling tomato or everybody is doing this business and they tell you they're making money. You don't know the iceberg under the sea that they have They've done a lot of work, and that's that is the one you don't see. The one you're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. So do the market research first, especially with farm produce. If not, you're going to lose. You waste money and you lose a lot. So whatever business you're going to start, you need to start with your customers. You need to build it from the customer. You find your customers, you get them, even if it's 1 basket. See, even if you have to go to Orange Market in the morning in Maraba, buy it, start with that one. It might be a little bit more expensive, yeah, but you still make some profit. Start with it, get the produce, talk with your, get your customers, talk with them first, and then you start little, start small, so you don't lose your capital. Okay, is there any other? I'm not seeing any question, but I see 2 hands.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I would like to make a contribution. Can I?
All right, Vicky.
Okay. Just to contribute to this question, how do I undertake know your customer as a farmer of produce or produce marketer? Please do not go into planting anything until you have done this market research. It's like you decide, I'm not going to plant maize anymore. I'm tired of selling maize. I want to start selling kola nuts. But you do not know who you're going to sell the kola nuts to. And then you just go clear your land, invest money, and start planting kola nuts without knowing who is going to take it off from you. It's the same principle, I think. I mean, am I correct?
Yes.
I think it's the same principle. Agriculture is a big business now, but I think we also as farmers need to take our time. Like Amina told you, she jumped into rice business, even was trying to go and get processors from South Korea until someone stopped her and said, look, where are you going to take this rice to? There's a lot of rice farming going on. Who is going to take off the rice from you if you process it and you invest this much money and you take a loan? So please do not go into any business. Don't even start planting any produce until you're sure of who you're going to sell it to. It might look like everybody eats corn or everybody eats rice. But the truth is, by the time you produce that rice, those people who you think are eating rice already know who they are going to buy from. You will be surprised. So your rice will just be sitting there and they'll be buying from their usual sellers. So like the woman who sells tomatoes from Lagos, from Jos, she targeted a certain class of people. One, people who don't have time to go to the market. Two, people who are very concerned about quality. And her cost, I'm sure, is she added the cost of going to the market and everything, and then she brings it to your house. So by the time you calculate it, if I go to Orange Market, if I have to travel to Orange Market to buy this tomato, how much will it cost me? What will it cost me to process the tomato in my house? That is to clean it up, select the bad and the good ones and everything. She does all that for you and she adds a little bit more on it and she sells it to these particular people. You cannot go and say you too, you want to buy tomatoes and start selling to people. By the time you buy it and you come, those people are not going to buy from you. They will go back to that lady who has done enough research to buy from. So I don't know, that's my contribution though. Amina, am I right?
Yeah, of course.
We have like 2 more hands, so I will mute Kazan.
It's Kazan chat.
Yes, you can go on.
Okay, hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, thank you very much for this amazing platform which you've created. I've learned a lot. I started with last week's on what do you call it? The future jobs, and I learned a lot.
Okay.
So yeah. I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for a while.
Okay.
And I specify I picked my niche in natural light, which is a market that most people that is not saturated, and most people don't really appreciate it here. But what I found out is I also do videography, and I have more customers in the videography aspect. And I have repeated customers coming through there. And I don't want my natural light, which I've invested more money, time, and I have more passion for it, to go down. So how do I balance it and get more customers on the other end? So I balance both sides.
Okay. I'm trying to find an example to give. You know, like I had said that I started I started a sanitary towel business, but along the line, I found out that more people, I could find more people. There are lots of, not more people, there are lots of people who are also in need of adult diapers. Do you understand? So I now said, okay, it's in the same, you find them in the same aisle. If you go to buy anywhere in the world, they're the same aisle. But I thought in Nigeria, we don't really use that. But I found lots of people have kidney issues and all, and prostate and all those things. So lots of people use adult diapers. Do I dump my sanitary towel and jump on and start selling the diapers? No, but I'm going to build on that market also. Do you understand? I also started, I'm going to buy more, I'm going to buy a lot of diapers, but that's after I have, because I've spoken to, the business is similar. That's what I want to say. It's kind of similar, you understand? When you find people who are buying this, you also find, you'd also build on people who are in that line. You also find people who need this particular thing. So you're not going out of the business totally. You're still in the same range. Your photography and editing are almost the same thing.
Yes, yeah.
Or you find people who are looking for, sorry, I'm trying to, my head is full. But it's in the same kind of, it's in the same range. I don't understand. I don't know how to say it, but you don't throw away one business because the other is growing, and that one that you have put more money in, you dump it. No, you build on it also. And you find out that just when you're about to leave, or say, okay, because this one is not really growing, and you leave it, that's when you see so many people are asking you for that particular kind of thing. And so whatever it is, when you just build on that customer service, if people coming for video editing, and you also have your, I think the pictures, right? The pictures you take, nature pictures, right?
Yes,
and you have them there. Yeah. I'm sure for me, if I go in and I see something nice, sometimes you take the attention. So just get good pictures of, or catchy pictures that people will come in, and the first thing they'll ask you, even though they claim for editing, they'll ask you about that picture. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So you still, and if someone is looking for, like, to frame a nice nature, that's what you do, right? Nature pictures. I hope I'm not. Yeah.
Natural.
So if someone comes in, natural, okay. If someone comes into your studio to do editing, and then he sees that one and he asks, and you tell him, oh, okay, I do that also. Word of mouth. That's the biggest advert you always get. So still build on it. Don't throw it, but continue to put out those ones. Put out that part of it, because your passion is there. And where you have your passion normally is the one that it's easy for you to grow it, if you have the passion in that, and then you spent a lot of money there. So I think when you put that one out also, and when people come in, they see that you also talk about it. Oh, this is something I also do. Do you understand?
Yes,
and to build. But if someone has can respond, if someone can help, please, Larry, if anybody wants to contribute, please, can you also, because it's not a know-it-all. I don't know everything.
Okay. Thank you.
And I
okay, please.
Though,
yeah, please.
In response to that last question as well,
yeah.
For me, I think that you have two products now, Mr. Kaza. I think you have two products. You now are developing your editing business, and you are also selling. You're also into photography. So, if I were you, I won't mix them both. I would treat them as two separate businesses, really. Because people take pictures, they bring to you to edit, is a different business. You are selling pictures that you've taken of nature, it's a different business. Your target audience is very likely to be different.
Okay.
Yeah, Vicky?
Yes, I'm done.
Oh, you're done? Okay.
We have someone also raising his answer, okay. Benjamin. Then we have some questions in the chat box. But I'll move Mr. Benjamin to say something.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I just want to add a little contribution to the recent question asked by the video editor and the photographer as well.
Okay.
So I just want to say, just like the lady that just finished speaking, Victoria Akai, I think she's right. Video editing is a product on its own. Nature photography is a product on its own. I think for you to know your customer, your basic understanding should come from the fact that if you have a client base for video editing, you should get a client base for nature pictures. And you should try thinking of diversifying instead of bringing your pictures to the studio and trying to do the word of mouth thing, I think you should think of watermarking your pictures and putting them online. There are basic sites, freelancer, where you can send your pictures, your nature pictures online, and people who fall in love with it can harness it and then buy into your product. You can also go for picture display. You frame your pictures. That's for packaging anyway, but I'm talking about knowing your customers. You frame them and take them to picture exhibitions, photo exhibition places. You register for them and you display your nature pictures. So you're getting money from, definitely with prayers and goodwill. You will definitely make sales for your pictures if they are good enough. So while you're making money from your video editing, you should just take your time and research on places where your nature pictures can be sold. I've given you two examples online. Watermark them before you put them online, though, so they get you, inbox you when they want the real image. All right, and then you go to photo exhibition centers. But there are so many exploratory places you can as well do your stuff.
Thank you very much. That was really insightful. Thank you so much for
thank you too, because
that contribution.
Thank you very much. I actually learned a lot, and I will take everything into account and try it out. See how it goes. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We'll take the last one, which is from the chat, that says, how do I validate a business idea? How do I know how probable it is? There are times when we start business ideas trying to solve a problem and then it crashes. How do I avoid that? Well, like I said, everything is when you're trying to build a business, start with the customer base. When you have an idea, who are your customers? Who is the end user of that idea? Why would I buy from you? Why would anybody come to you for that service? You need to get your customers first. That's why so many businesses crash. You look at it and then you look at the future of that business. Is it something I can improve on in future? You can't start doing, I'll go back to that pure water business. Now it's not pure water again, it's bottled water. So you have to, in every business, you have to improve on it. You need to find a way. It doesn't crash and totally fall because you don't have customers. It's just that your customers have moved to another level. Like, I also give an example with salons. You find out that there are these salons that have been there and they've been in business for 15, 20 years and people still go there. Why do they go there when they are also salons which were started at the same time, and before you know it, they've packed up, they are no longer there? What's the difference? Most times, human beings, we are a species of beings that love change. You can't have the same thing, treat people the same way in 1980 when things have improved and you're still using the 1980 kind of thing. People will move. So whatever business it is, an idea that you have, you look at it, is this something in this business, how can I improve it? And you have to improve your business every time so that your customer base will always come back to you. They won't be like, leave you and go to another person who has just improved by a little. Some salons, they just change things around, turn things around in the salon, paint it, make it look a little bit better. And then you see your customers, they keep coming. And then the place is clean. They will come. You treat your customers well, which is something we need to work on in Nigeria. Customer service. Our customer service is normally terrible in this country. But then if your own business is different, you have good customer relations and you improve on your business all the time. Every time you're researching on your business, it's not that you get something, an idea, and then you get stuck on it. You need to improve. You need to research on it. You need to also show your customers that they care. So you talk with them once in a while, you get feedbacks from them, and then your business cannot just totally crash like that. It will move. Do you understand? Your customers will not move to another person and then leave you behind. I don't know if that has helped answer that question. The next one is the skincare company from France is about to open one of the outlets in Abuja, in which I'm their representative. How do I know my customers?
Amina.
Yeah.
I just before you go to the next question, also still on
sir.
What do I do with my idea? How do I actualize my idea?
Yeah.
This is a whole. This is another lecture which we intend to give later on. How do you take your idea from just an idea to actualizing it? And that's where we'll be talking about developing your business plan and also market testing. So when you have an idea, you have to do a little bit of research from the idea to find out what exactly, whether that idea is workable, whether people have been doing that, what you have in mind, and what market exists, and all that. All this you have in your market research. From your idea, your market research, you also have now to create your business plan to find out how you can actually actualize that idea. That is a very, very specialized area, which is very important for all entrepreneurs to imbibe. And we intend to do that. We'll keep you posted on that. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Prof. Okay. I'm so sorry. Our time is far spent. I heard Tinu, or is it Larry?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I heard someone wants to.
Yes, Dr. Yes, Dr. Johnson is our faculty member and the vice president at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce. So he's going to, I will mute him now to round up.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Anene. Is he here?
I think he's here. I'm trying to unmute him, but I think he's still muted on this. Okay.
Yeah. Can I speak now?
Yes, you can.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Can I speak?
Yes, sir. Yes, you can.
Thank you very much, Amina. Yeah, you are hearing me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes, thank you very much. And I want to appreciate everybody and the contributions. Before we round up, I want to quickly add a couple of ideas that I think will help us in starting and running our businesses. One is, like it's already been said, nobody should start a business without, first of all, conducting a market survey. In the market survey, you'll be able to identify your customers, identify the need that you are going to service or satisfy with your products or services, and also identify your suppliers. Identifying your customers is as important as identifying your suppliers. Like Amina said initially, so that you don't start supplying, then along the line, when the customers start coming, you find out that you cannot satisfy their supplies or their demands again. So for you to be able to remain in that business and sustain it, you need to establish a consistent flow of supplies so that you don't disappoint the customers that you have suffered so much to acquire. Then the next one is that line of business that you want to go into, ensure that it's not a seasonal business. If it's a seasonal business, you make sure that, yes, you are prepared for it. You do it for this season and wait till the next season. There's somebody that just started the production. He took loan. and started the importation of umbrella. Before the umbrella could arrive from China, the rainy season has stopped. So you find out that the person gets stuck with all the products. The money just went down because the bank that gave him loan to start the business could not wait till the next rainy season. So you have to find out the kind of business that you want to go into and make sure that it's something that is sustainable. Then finally, I want to urge us not to ever give up. Be consistent, push on. So far you are convinced that the line of business you are into is the right thing that you should do. So far you are convinced, you have passion for that. Push on. Don't be discouraged by initial setbacks and challenges. Over time, you will be able to overcome all those challenges. And finally is your attitude. Your attitude to your suppliers, your attitude to your customers. There's this common saying that your attitude will determine your altitude. You know, hard work can get you up, yes. Hard work and contacts. For example, you know Prof can help you build you up and raise you up. But it's your attitude that can maintain that level he has pushed you up to. So you need to maintain the right attitude on the way you relate with your customers, the way you relate with your suppliers, the way you relate even with your mentors. So attitude is very, very important. And having said that, I want to encourage every one of us. I understand that we have another session next Friday, and I will encourage every one of us to, tune in and participate. And let these our sessions not just be an academic exercise. Let it be that things you pick things from and begin to apply them. Information acquired but not utilized is of no use. So when you get all this information, get this knowledge, make sure you acquire and you apply them. It's just like if you have light in your house, but you didn't switch on the light, you remain in darkness. So whatever
Hello? I think we've lost Dr. Anene. Hello?
Or information that try them out. Make sure.
Yeah,
Sorry?
we lost you a bit.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We lost you for a bit.
Are we still together?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I don't know where you lost. Where you start?
Hello? Hello?
Hello, sir.
We lost him again.
Okay, I think what Dr. Anene was trying to say is that we'll be having these sessions frequently, and we encourage you to also let other people know. We'd like to have a full house. He has also mentioned that he would like us to practicalize what we've learned here. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Best Center sessions, and we hope to improve on this, and we hope to see you again next Friday. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.